What do you believe is important for anyone to be aware of if they know someone is struggling with this mental health issue? Oh, and Misha, our behind the scenes, has brought it up perfectly on the screen. Michelle, do you have anything that you'd like to touch on this question at
Yes,
all?
yes. That's a great question, Jordan. Thanks for asking. I think it's really important that you listen. And you
Mm,
listen to hear, not necessarily listen to solve the problem, not listen to tell the person what the solution is, but to really listen. And sometimes someone just wants to get it out. So,
mm,
wrap your arms around the person, listen to the person. And if you're really hearing that the person is in distress, you have to try to refer the person or let them know about resources they can reach out to for help. So, for example, the suicide prevention hotline, right? You want to,
mm.
if you really find that someone's in dire distress, refer them. But at the core, you want to be a listening ear. It starts
Yes.
there. Too many times we listen and try to solve, we don't
Mm,
listen just to hear. And that's critical.
mm. So, so true. And sometimes the most important thing you can do is just to be there for someone.
That's right.
Just be there for something. And once you have that communication there, it's always okay to ask, what language can I use to help you here? If someone battles with anxiety or panic attacks or has certain triggers, it does take a communication to get to know and learn those triggers for that certain person so that you can be that support for them. Because not everyone faces the same struggles or the same mental health issues. It is all very unique to the person. So just take that time, that intentional effort, and it'll really be appreciated by that person, I'm sure. Someone is asking, Kat, what's your fondest or most memorable memory with chess? Oh, and we have another comment asking the same thing. Thank you, Japat. Um, my gosh, it's so many. I think it would have to be our trip to Brazil. It was a very special memory because we even went with Miss Teen Kaylee, and it was her first ever trip out of the country. So me and Chess were like big sisters on that trip. We went to Brazil for an outreach for Smile Train, and Tess just comes alive when she's in service of others. And I'm sure, Michelle, you've witnessed that also. She really, really does. When she's given a microphone or the opportunity to speak to a fellow human being, she comes alive with her passion and her willingness to let other people feel heard. That's why she's such a great advocate for even social justice as an attorney, not only as a title holder, and even all the other organizations that she really worked hand in hand with. But Brazil was really just such a special memory because it showed me the side of chess that was her as a sister, for Kaylee. And it was the fun and it was the quirkiness, but it was also the compassion for the children that we met there. And that's a very fun memory for me. Thank you, Japat, for that question. Kat, there are times that I wake up feeling down. What do you do when this happens to you? Michelle, do you have any insight for
Yeah.
our cat underscore na underscore gray?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I mean, I think it happens, right? And you have to own it and just give yourself a moment to be there. And I like to think about, why am I feeling this way? Has something
Mm,
happened to trigger me? And then
mm,
really think through what that is. But once I'm able to sit with that for a moment, I try to really focus on what I call managing my mindset. So I
mm,
try to think positively about whatever the situation may be. I try to appreciate and have gratitude for, things that are going on that are good, as opposed to focusing on the thing that may
so
have me
true.
down. And really kind of, again, own it, acknowledge it, sit with it for a moment, but then really focus on, okay, how do I move forward? And what is the good? And what do I want to be grateful for? And move from there. Because if you get stuck in it, that's when you find yourself stuck in a space of depression, and it's really hard to
Mm,
get out of it. And that's where talking to someone can help. Because if you
yeah.
can't get out of that feeling down, someone else might be able to support you through that journey so that you can come up and out of it, and move forward into something in a more positive light.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you've said. And also to bounce off that, Michelle, um, we should normalize seeking medical help in
Yes.
that form of a therapist or a psychiatrist. it sometimes, and I understand there's many of us that may not feel safe or comfortable reaching out to someone so near to us, or maybe we just don't feel able to. Normalizing therapy and reaching out to a medical profession needs to happen, and it's completely encouraged. I encourage it, to seek therapy, to seek the help that you need, to get that resource and to get that help.
You know, Kat, it's funny you said that because I think about it this way. I think about we see a physician to help
Mm,
manage our physical health, right? I
yes,
think it's totally, totally acceptable and appropriate to see a mental professional, right? To
yes.
help us manage our emotional health and well being. You know, I am proud to say that I have both types of medical care in my life to help me
Mm.
manage my physical and my mental health and well-being. It's critical. We all need someone to talk to.
Yes, very, very well said. And I completely agree. Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank you for our viewer who added that question. Thank you so much. Do we have another question from our audience? We have from Hina M. How to cope up with stress that we get when we fail in our own expectations. Hina, you are not alone in this. I myself struggle with the high standards that I set for myself as a fellow perfectionist, or just maybe someone that holds yourself to high standard. It's always great to set goals for yourself. We always want to aim high. We want to achieve. We want to do well. But failure, unfortunately, is inevitable. But instead of seeing failure as something that is a pit that you feel that you're going to stay in, see failure as evidence that you're trying, and know that within failure, there is always something to be learned. There's something to be gained, whether it's experience or knowledge of things to do again or things to try maybe differently. And always ask for help. If there's a pursuit, perhaps career wise, personal wise, ambitious wise, that you want to try again after failing, reach out, improve on yourself. There are so many free and amazing resources online, groups in your community. That you can really reach out to. But if it's also a question of your own self confidence, give yourself grace. Confidence is not something that people just magically have. I know Michelle will probably agree with me on this. Confidence is like a muscle that you really have to work on every single day. So just try to make that active choice to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And after you fail, everything will feel like it's outside of your comfort zone, but it's just so worth it. For me, from what I've achieved in my life, I failed many, many times. Michelle, I'm sure, even though you're the CEO of this amazing organization, I'm sure you've had times where you failed. And I'm sure I speak for both of us. We would not be where we are without those failures and for what we learned from those failures. So just give yourself grace, get back up, and just keep learning, keep self improving. Thank you, Hina. How to deal with people that do not recognize the conformity of mental health issues? Or maybe I think this person is trying to say how to deal with people that do not recognize the importance of mental health issues. Michelle, would you like to speak on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody doesn't necessarily appreciate the gravity of the situation, but I would say this, if you do any research at all, just even a quick Google search on
Mm,
mental health in the wake of the pandemic, you know, you alluded to this before, Kat, mental health and the crisis around mental health in this nation has been kind of, I think, aggravated or accelerated through the pandemic. You can't, I mean, you really can't ignore it these days. And like you said, I think it was
mm,
1 in 5 Americans and people around the world struggle with mental health issues at some point in their lives. It's real.
mm.
And it
Very
absolutely
much
is
so.
something we need to be mindful of. The pandemic, again, put a spotlight on it. And I think there are tons of resources out there that you can point someone to who doesn't appreciate that it is real and that it is an issue that we all
Mm,
have to care for.
Thank you so much for sharing, Michelle. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. People just need to realize that it is a real thing. And I think in many parts of the world, there still continues to be the conversation that is really doing a lot of work to demystify, to destigmatize mental health. from all of the labels that's been attached to it, from the unimportance it's been given in the past. And a lot of that is to do with the pandemic. I feel like there's been a huge emphasis and spotlight put on mental health, but I hope that there continues to be that evolving conversation around mental health, because it really does affect every single one of us in one way or another. So it's really our responsibility to educate ourselves about it, and hopefully speak that wisdom into other people and shed light onto them as well regarding mental health. Knowing that so many people are facing so many different things, and um, wherever they are in the world, is there a piece of encouragement that maybe someone has said to you in your journey, or maybe someone through Just for Success has imparted on you, that's really stuck with you, that you would love to share with us?
Oh, wow. That's a great one. I think every morning when I wake up about what I'm grateful for, and I try to have gratitude
Mm,
in every day. There is nothing better than living in a space of gratitude. And this is someone told me over a year ago or so. I actually keep a gratitude journal. And every
mm,
morning I log in my gratitude journal 3 things that I'm grateful for. Because what that does is it helps me focus not on the negative, it helps me focus not on the bad or the dark, but it helps me focus on the light, and what's
mm.
good. So when I do find myself in a place of worry or distress or concern, I always come back and ground myself in the morning to, but you know what? I have all of these great things to be grateful and
Mm.
thankful for. So I would say to anchor yourself in gratitude, that will help you navigate the ups and the downs of all of the things we're navigating in our daily lives.
That's so, so powerful. I am such a believer in also that gratitude is the greatest combat to negativity, because really, no matter your situation, there's always something to be grateful for. It could be as simple as a roof over your head, that your family is safe, that you're healthy, that you have air in your lungs, that you're able to go out and enjoy the sunshine. Simple things. Like you said, as soon as you shift your focus for the things to be grateful for, the more that you feed into those things, the more stronger they become.